Have you ever felt like your kindness has left you standing alone? Nice people often express their compassion quietly, without seeking recognition or applause. They act out of conscience and empathy, not for the spotlight. Yet, this quiet kindness, combined with shouldering everyone else's burdens, can pull them into a spiral of loneliness. They help others without hesitation, but struggle to open up about their own needs. Why does this paradox exist? Why does kindness often come at the cost of connection? I know someone who embodies this struggle, a 55-year-old auto repair shop owner. He's the kind of person who fixes cars for free for customers in financial trouble or offers deep discounts without being asked. While his generosity has earned him respect from a few, some people dismiss him as naive or even too soft. He quietly accepts these judgments, continuing to give more than he gets. But behind his actions lies a man who sometimes wonders why his kindness seems to isolate him instead of bringing him closer to others. If this resonates with you, you're not alone. In this video, we'll explore the hidden struggles of nice people, the emotional exhaustion of selflessness, and the Stoic wisdom that can help reclaim your energy and balance. Stay until the end, and if you've experienced similar challenges or found ways to overcome them, share your story in the comments. Your experience could inspire someone else to find strength in their kindness. 1. Misunderstood kindness. Nice people often find themselves trapped in a paradox. Their kindness, expressed without conditions or expectations, is misunderstood. Some see it as a sign of weakness, an inability to stand up for themselves. Others view it as self-serving, assuming there must be a hidden agenda. Worse still, some find it irritating, dismissing acts of generosity as unnecessary or excessive. These misinterpretations weigh heavily on kind individuals, leaving them feeling isolated and undervalued. Yet, true kindness is far from weakness. It is strength in its purest form, rooted in self-confidence and compassion. It is a force that leaves lasting, positive impacts long after the initial act has faded. Those who embody kindness often possess an unshakable moral foundation. Their actions stem from deeply held values, which earn them the trust and admiration of those who truly understand them. They create environments of positivity where others feel safe and respected. To outsiders, they may appear as dependable and selfless pillars of support, always ready to help when needed. But this dependability comes with a cost. It makes them vulnerable to exploitation by those who mistake their willingness to help as an endless resource to be tapped. The alternative paths are tempting but hollow. To protect themselves, some may choose coldness, keeping others at arm's length to avoid being misunderstood or hurt. Others might turn to calculation, offering help only when they see a clear benefit in return. While these approaches may guard against exploitation, they strip kindness of its essence, selflessness, and turn it into a transactional act. In Stoic philosophy, kindness is not a weakness, it is a virtue. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that a good person does what is right, not for applause, but because it is aligned with their nature. Stoics teach us to focus on the intent behind our actions, rather than how they are received. If kindness flows from a genuine desire to do good, external misunderstandings cannot diminish its value. This perspective frees kind individuals from the weight of needing others to validate their actions. Kindness then becomes an unshakable inner strength, immune to misinterpretation. There was a moment in the life of the auto repair shop owner I mentioned earlier that illuminated this truth. After years of quietly helping customers in need, offering free repairs or discounts to those struggling financially, he noticed something unexpected. Many of those customers returned, not because they needed another favor, but because they trusted him. His shop became a place where people felt cared for, and his reputation for fairness spread. What some had initially dismissed as naivety was, in fact, the foundation of lasting relationships and loyalty. This realization affirmed his belief that kindness, even when misunderstood, creates ripples that lead to deeper connections over time. This principle isn't limited to him. Think of someone who consistently puts others first but rarely expresses their own needs. They might feel unappreciated or overlooked, but the issue lies partly in their reluctance to communicate. Their silence can make them seem distant or hard to connect with on a deeper level. By learning to voice their feelings and set clear expectations, they can foster stronger, more reciprocal relationships. On the other hand, selective kindness is another crucial lesson. Imagine an individual who tirelessly gives to everyone, only to be drained by those who take advantage of their generosity. By identifying who truly values their kindness, they can focus on building meaningful connections and avoid the emotional exhaustion that comes from one-sided relationships. This discernment is not selfish. It is wisdom, ensuring that kindness remains a source of strength rather than vulnerability. For those who see themselves in these stories, Stoicism offers a guiding light. Kindness, according to the Stoics, is not about pleasing others, but living in harmony with one's values. To protect oneself from exploitation, Stoics advocate for setting boundaries, not as barriers, but as tools to maintain balance. Epictetus taught that while we should help others, we must first ensure we have the strength to do so without depleting ourselves. This means prioritizing self-care, discerning whom to help, and not feeling guilt for saying no when necessary. In a world that often misinterprets kindness, the challenge is to stay true to its essence while protecting one's peace. Kindness is a gift, not a weakness. And like all gifts, it should be given wisely, ensuring it enrich both the giver and the receiver. 2. Self-neglect from prioritizing others. It's a quiet burden, often unnoticed even by those who carry it. People who dedicate their lives to helping others rarely stop to think about their own needs. Their compassion runs deep, their willingness to sacrifice is unwavering, and they are seen as dependable pillars in their communities. From their perspective, their efforts bring value to others' lives, reflecting a sense of purpose and self-worth. However, this relentless focus on others often comes at a cost, neglecting themselves. To outsiders, they might seem heroic, always stepping in to save the day. Yet there's a hidden danger in this constant self-sacrifice: emotional fatigue, physical exhaustion, and a growing sense of resentment. Without balance, the act of giving can leave a person disconnected from their well-being. It's not that their compassion is misplaced, it's that it lacks the structure to sustain itself over time. Stoicism provides a lens through which this imbalance can be addressed. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the need to preserve inner harmony, emphasizing that no one can pour from an empty cup. Acts of self-care are not indulgent, but essential to continuing to serve others with strength and clarity. By recognizing their own limits, kind individuals can ensure their kindness is a steady flame rather than a flickering light. A friend of mine, a skilled carpenter, embodied this struggle. Known for his exceptional craftsmanship and dedication to his clients, he would often work late into the night to complete projects. If a customer was struggling financially, he would lower his rates or do extra work for free. Over time, he began to neglect his own health and the relationships that mattered most. I visited him in the hospital after a mild heart attack. It was a sobering moment for both of us. He admitted that while he took pride in his work, he had forgotten how to care for himself. After his recovery, he restructured his schedule, carving out time for his family, hobbies, and health. His work remained excellent, but now it came from a place of balance. This story is not unique. Many people believe that self-care is selfish, a betrayal of the virtues they hold dear. But consider this: how can you be there for others if you are constantly running on empty? Self-care is not a luxury, it's the foundation of sustainable kindness. Whether it's taking time to rest, saying no to unreasonable demands, or seeking support when overwhelmed, these small acts preserve the energy required to continue giving. Stoicism teaches us to evaluate where we expend our time and energy. Epictetus reminds us that we have a finite capacity to act, and it is our responsibility to direct those actions wisely. This isn't a call to stop helping others. It's a call to help yourself first so you can show up fully for those who depend on you. If you are someone who struggles with this balance, start by asking yourself, am I giving too much at the expense of my well-being? It's not a question of abandoning your values, but strengthening them. For those who know people like this, acknowledge their efforts and encourage them to care for themselves. Sometimes, even a small gesture of understanding can make a significant difference. The heart of Stoicism lies in balance between action and reflection, giving and receiving. By embracing this balance, you not only preserve your ability to be kind, but but also deepen your connection with yourself and others. True compassion begins with the courage to care for your own needs, ensuring your kindness continues to inspire and endure. 3. Emotional exhaustion. Kindness often carries with it the gift of deep empathy. Nice people possess an innate ability to sense and absorb the emotions of others. To them, offering a listening ear or lending support isn't just an act of generosity, it's part of who they are. They believe their role is to be a safe harbor for those around them. While this capacity for empathy fosters trust and builds meaningful connections, it also comes with a heavy cost. Constantly absorbing others' burdens can drain their emotional energy, leaving little for themselves. From their perspective, this deep empathy feels like a strength. They are the ones friends turn to during crises, the ones who can intuit what someone needs without a word. From the outside, they're seen as understanding, reliable, and compassionate. But there's another side to this story. Over time, the constant weight of others' emotions begins to take a toll. Some people may even grow overly dependent, expecting their kindness to be limitless. In Stoic philosophy, there's wisdom for navigating this delicate balance. Epictetus wrote, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." This teaches us to understand that, while empathy is a gift, we must discern between what is ours to carry and what belongs to others. Practicing the dichotomy of control, focusing only on what we can change, helps conserve emotional energy and protect inner peace. A friend of mine once shared her struggle with this. As a counselor, her job was to listen and support clients dealing with life's hardest moments. Over the years, she began to notice how her work crept into every part of her life. She carried the pain of others home, losing sleep and distancing herself from her own family. One day, she reached a breaking point, realizing she could no longer give to others without first replenishing herself. Her journey toward balance began with small changes. She set clear boundaries, limiting her availability outside of work hours. She incorporated daily rituals of mindfulness, using breathing exercises to let go of the emotions she had absorbed during the day. Slowly, she rediscovered the joy in her relationships and work, not by turning away from empathy, but by learning to manage it. Think of how often we neglect our emotional well-being in the name of kindness. For instance, someone who becomes the confidant of a struggling friend might feel honored by their trust. Yet, if this dynamic becomes one-sided, it can lead to frustration and exhaustion. The problem isn't the act of listening, it's the lack of boundaries that allow the relationship to grow lopsided. Stoicism encourages us to view empathy as a strength, not a sacrifice. By learning to manage emotional boundaries, we can give without losing ourselves in the process. Start by identifying when you feel drained and ask yourself, is this mine to carry? If the answer is no, practice letting it go with compassion. Small actions, like journaling to process emotions or creating time for personal reflection, can be powerful tools for balance. For those who know empathetic individuals, offering them acknowledgement and space can make a difference. A simple, "How are you holding up?" shifts the focus back to them, reminding them they're seen and valued beyond their acts of kindness. Empathy is a remarkable gift, but it flourishes when paired with self-awareness and limits. Stoicism reminds us that balance isn't selfish, it's essential. When you learn to protect your emotional energy, you not only safeguard your peace, but also ensure your kindness remains a source of strength rather than a hidden burden. True empathy shines brightest when it is sustainable. 4. Seeking deeper connections. In a world where superficial interactions dominate, finding authentic and meaningful connections can feel like an uphill battle. Kind-hearted individuals who value depth and sincerity often find themselves standing apart. They prioritize trust, loyalty, and shared values, but these qualities can make it harder to form quick bonds. Others may view them as too serious or even difficult to approach, further isolating them in a society that often celebrates convenience over commitment. This challenge, however, reveals something powerful. The desire for deeper connections reflects a profound respect for relationships. Those who seek depth over quantity are reliable, trustworthy, and capable of building bonds that stand the test of time. Their sincerity, while sometimes misunderstood, makes them exceptional friends and partners. The alternative, to settle for shallow, fleeting relationships, might stave off loneliness in the short term, but lacks the fulfillment that meaningful connections bring. Stoicism aligns perfectly with this perspective. Marcus Aurelius observed, "The fruit of this life is a good character and acts for the common good." A Stoic approach to relationships emphasizes aligning with people who share your values and contribute positively to your growth. Shallow relationships may be easy, but they seldom provide the kind of mutual respect and understanding that nurture the soul. A friend of mine is a community volunteer. He spent years attending charitable events, hoping to meet others who shared his dedication to helping others. Yet, many people he met were more interested in appearances than purpose. It was disheartening, but he didn't give up. Over time, through persistence and genuine effort, he found a small circle of like-minded individuals who shared his passion for making a difference. Their shared values created a bond that brought not only friendship, but also inspiration and support. You might see yourself in this story. Perhaps you've tried to find meaningful relationships, but felt disappointed when others didn't meet your expectations. Maybe you've joined groups, attended events, or reached out only to encounter indifference or surface-level engagement. It's tempting to settle for less, to accept connections that feel easier but lack authenticity. Yet, those who persevere often find that the effort is worth it. Imagine a professional who values mentorship and growth, yet struggles to find coworkers who share the same vision. They could choose to stop seeking these connections and accept the status quo. Or they could continue searching for those rare individuals who inspire and challenge them. By staying true to their values, they eventually find colleagues who enrich their work and personal life in profound ways. Stoicism teaches that patience and persistence are essential when pursuing what truly matters. Seneca advised, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." This doesn't mean isolating yourself until the perfect friend or partner appears. It means being selective while appreciating and nurturing the relationships you already have. Quality over quantity is a Stoic principle that applies to relationships as much as to life itself. To practice this, start by reflecting on your values. What qualities matter most in your relationships? Seek communities or activities that align with those principles. Be patient. It may take time to find like-minded individuals, but the connections you form will be worth the wait. For those who know someone seeking depth in a world of superficiality, support their journey by encouraging and valuing their sincerity. In a fast-paced, superficial world, the search for deeper connections can feel isolating. But Stoicism reminds us that the best relationships are those built on shared values, mutual respect, and genuine effort. By staying true to your principles, you create a foundation for connections that are not only meaningful, but enduring. 5. Loss of boundaries. Kind people often see helping others as a natural extension of their character. Their willingness to say yes stems from a deep sense of responsibility and compassion. To them, offering assistance is a way to create harmony, ease burdens, and show kindness. From another perspective, this makes them approachable and dependable, but it also opens the door for exploitation. Without clear boundaries, even their strongest relationships can begin to fray, leaving them feeling drained and undervalued. Stoicism offers a way to approach this balance. Epictetus advised, "Know first who you are and then adorn yourself accordingly." This emphasizes understanding your limits and acting in alignment with your values. Kindness doesn't mean being available at all times. It means giving when it aligns with your capacity and principles. By learning to say no with grace, kind individuals can preserve their energy for what truly matters. A story comes to mind about a family friend, a skilled handyman. He was the go-to person in his neighborhood, the one everyone called to fix a leaking pipe or assemble furniture. Rarely did he refuse, even when the requests began piling up. One day, he found himself working late into the night for a neighbor while his own family was gathered at a reunion. Missing that moment made him pause. He realized that his constant willingness to help wasn't just exhausting him. It was pulling him away from the people who mattered most. After this wake-up call, he decided to set boundaries. He started by politely limiting his availability, explaining his need to prioritize personal commitments. Surprisingly, most neighbors respected his honesty, and those who didn't naturally fade away. What remained were relationships built on mutual respect rather than convenience. Over time, his energy returned, and so did his joy in helping others, now balanced with his own needs. This story reflects a common struggle. Many kind individuals feel obligated to help, fearing they'll disappoint or appear unkind if they don't. Imagine a coworker who stays late every evening, picking up tasks others have left behind. Their dedication often goes unnoticed, or worse, becomes expected. Over time, resentment builds, not because they dislike helping, but because their efforts feel unappreciated and one-sided. The simple act of setting a boundary, declining extra work or asking for recognition, can shift this dynamic, preserving both their energy and their relationships. Stoicism provides practical tools for managing boundaries without conflict. Marcus Aurelius emphasized, "Do every act of your life as though it were the last." This teaches us to act with intention and clarity, ensuring our efforts align with what we value most. For someone struggling to say no, this means evaluating requests through the lens of personal priorities and emotional capacity. A polite refusal, delivered with honesty and kindness, is not an act of aggression, but one of self-respect. To apply this in your own life, start small. Practice saying no in situations where you feel stretched too thin, and observe the response. You'll often find that genuine relationships withstand these moments, while opportunistic ones may fade away. For those who know someone like the handyman, encouraging them to set boundaries can be an act of kindness in itself. Acknowledge their efforts, but also remind them that it's okay to take time for themselves. Kindness paired with clear boundaries becomes a strength, not a vulnerability. Stoicism reminds us that our energy is finite, and preserving it allows us to continue giving meaningfully. By aligning actions with values and setting limits where needed, we transform kindness from a burden into a source of strength and balance. This approach ensures that both our generosity and our well-being thrive together. 6. Authenticity versus superficiality. In a world where appearances often matter more than authenticity, kind people can find it challenging to fit in. Their sincerity, while admirable, sometimes makes them stand out in environments that value charm over substance. Yet this same honesty builds trust and fosters relationships that last. From their perspective, living authentically means staying true to themselves, even when the world around them pushes for superficiality. For those who understand their value, this integrity is a rare and cherished quality, though some might view it as too serious or difficult. Stoicism emphasizes the power of living in alignment with one's principles. Marcus Aurelius urged, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This resonates with those who prioritize authenticity over appearances. Stoicism teaches us that staying true to ourselves is not just a virtue, but a strength, enabling us to connect deeply with those who matter while navigating a world that often rewards facades. A neighbor of mine exemplifies this. He works in marketing, an industry that frequently thrives on charm and surface-level interactions. Yet, he has built a reputation for his unwavering integrity. While he doesn't always fit into the flashy culture surrounding him, his sincerity has won him loyal clients and colleagues who value his trustworthiness. Early in his career, he struggled to find his place, feeling out of sync with the superficial expectations of his peers. Over time, he learned how to express his authenticity in a way that resonated with others, adapting his communication style without compromising his values. His journey shows that sincerity, when paired with thoughtful expression, can bridge the gap between authenticity and societal expectations. Many of you may relate to this story. Imagine being in a workplace where everyone seems to wear masks, saying only what is popular or convenient. You might hesitate to speak your mind or feel pressure to conform. Yet, by embracing your true self, you open the door to connections built on trust and mutual respect. Authenticity attracts people who value depth, even if it takes longer to find them. To navigate this challenge, consider how you can adapt without losing yourself. Stoicism provides practical wisdom here. Seneca believed that authenticity doesn't mean being blunt or rigid. It's about being true to your principles while considering the context of your actions. This means expressing your sincerity in ways that others can understand and appreciate. By doing so, you maintain your integrity while fostering relationships that matter. Start small. In situations that feel superficial, focus on listening more than speaking and observing what truly matters to those around you. When the time comes to share, speak thoughtfully and truthfully, but tailor your words to the environment. For example, a kind colleague might say, "I understand your perspective, but here's what I believe could work better." Balancing honesty with tact. This approach helps you remain genuine without alienating others. Those who know someone like my neighbor recognize their authenticity as a strength. Encourage their efforts to be true to themselves, while supporting them in environments that might feel incompatible with their values. Small gestures, such as seeking their honest opinion or thanking them for their integrity, can go a long way in affirming their authenticity. Living authentically isn't easy, especially in a society that often values appearances over substance. But Stoicism reminds us that the value of our actions lies in their alignment with our principles. By staying true to yourself while learning to adapt to the world around you, you not only build meaningful relationships, but also create a life grounded in purpose and trust. Authenticity, when embraced wisely, is not just a personal strength, it's a beacon for those seeking real connection in a world often dominated by the superficial. 7. Difficulty receiving kindness. For many kind people, self-reliance feels like a badge of honor. They take pride in solving their problems, avoiding the need to burden others. From their perspective, independence reflects strength, responsibility, and self-respect. Yet the same trait can create unintended barriers. When someone offers help, they may feel uneasy or even guilty about accepting it. This reluctance can unintentionally isolate them, turning acts of care into missed opportunities for connection. Stoic philosophy offers a path to navigate this struggle. Epictetus reminds us, we are not alone, we are part of a larger community. Accepting help isn't a sign of weakness, it's an acknowledgement of our shared humanity. It allows others to experience the joy of giving, deepening mutual trust, and fostering stronger relationships. True independence doesn't mean rejecting support. It means understanding when to accept it and recognizing the value it brings to both sides. A story comes to mind about a 50-year-old former soldier I know. After retiring, he became accustomed to handling everything on his own. His years of service had instilled in him a sense of discipline and self-sufficiency. But when a serious accident left him temporarily unable to manage his daily tasks, he faced a challenge he hadn't anticipated. Friends and family stepped in, offering their time and assistance, but he hesitated, feeling as though accepting their help would diminish his strength. Over time, he began to see things differently. Accepting help didn't make him weak. It strengthened his relationships. It allowed his loved ones to support him in ways they had always wanted to, but hadn't been able to before. In the process, he learned that receiving kindness with gratitude wasn't just about him. It was about creating deeper bonds and mutual respect. This realization transformed the way he approached his relationships, making them more open and fulfilling. This struggle is familiar to many. Imagine the single parent who refuses assistance because they feel it undermines their capabilities, or the coworker who declines help on a project, fearing it reflects incompetence. This resistance, though well-meaning, prevents the natural give and take that builds stronger connections. Learning to accept kindness can be as impactful as offering it. It creates space for shared experiences and demonstrates trust in the people around you. Stoic wisdom guides us to see the interconnectedness of life. Marcus Aurelius taught us that the strength of the individual contributes to the strength of the whole. By accepting help, you're not just acknowledging your own needs, you're empowering those who care about you to express their kindness. This reciprocity builds the foundation for meaningful relationships that are rooted in mutual respect and understanding. To embrace this, start by reframing how you view receiving help. See it not as an admission of weakness, but as an act of trust and openness. When someone offers their time or support, acknowledge their effort with gratitude. Simple gestures, like accepting a friend's offer to listen, letting a family member assist with errands, or allowing a colleague to share the workload, can create profound connections. If you're someone who finds it challenging to accept help, remind yourself that strength lies in balance. Independence is valuable, but so is community. For those who know someone like this, offering help with understanding and patience can bridge the gap, helping them see your sincerity. Accepting kindness is not about giving up control. It's about embracing the beauty of mutual support. Stoicism reminds us that life's strength lies in its connections. By learning to receive as well as give, you create opportunities for growth, trust, and lasting bonds. In doing so, you enrich not only your life but also the lives of those around you. As we come to the end of this journey, let's reflect on what we've uncovered. Kindness, though often misunderstood, is a profound strength. It has the power to connect, heal, and inspire. Yet, as we've explored, it can also leave kind people feeling isolated, if not balanced with wisdom and self-awareness. From setting boundaries to seeking deeper connections, from embracing authenticity to learning to receive kindness, every aspect of this journey points to one truth. Kindness, when practiced with intention, creates harmony within ourselves and with others. Stoic philosophy reminds us that true strength lies in balance. It's about giving without losing yourself, trusting without fear, and living authentically while navigating a world that often misunderstands kindness. These aren't easy lessons, but they are deeply transformative. They challenge us to cultivate resilience, embrace inner peace, and approach every interaction with clarity and purpose. Practice these lessons daily. Start small. Set a boundary with someone close to you, or reach out to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Reflect on your relationships. Are they mutual, or are they draining your emotional energy? Take time to embrace your own needs without guilt, recognizing that self-care is the foundation of sustainable kindness. Most importantly, don't be afraid to share your journey. Each of us has a unique story shaped by kindness, connection, and growth. If today's insights resonated with you, share your experiences in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else to approach life with a little more courage and compassion. Remember, kindness isn't a weakness, it's your greatest strength when paired with wisdom. Practice it, protect it, and let it guide you to a life filled with meaning and purpose.